Bobbi Althoff's first podcast failed so incredibly badly that she got booed off the platform, became hated by almost every celebrity, and had her entire family divorce and abandon her. While most creators would see this as a sign to step away from the internet, Bobbi did the exact opposite. Instead, she resurfaced with a second podcast, this time under the name Not This Again, with a fresh start and supposedly a new direction. Except it barely made it off the ground. The show lasted just 4 episodes before she gave up entirely.
I knew when I started that it was going to go places. I didn't know I would fall off as quickly as I did. To be honest, I did think this was going to last a bit longer.
Every video now gets bombarded with dislikes, and her comment section is filled with nothing but hate. Hit pause as soon as the video started, since I'm only here for the comments. This is a good reminder that all bad things do come to an end. Left her husband and child to be passed around by C-tier rappers in LA. Absolutely horrible mother. So it comes to no surprise that her YouTube growth has basically flatlined. Her Instagram is now losing thousands of followers every single day, and the name that she's built for herself is nothing more than a running joke across the internet. I'm in Dart, and as always, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. TikTok is where she started, and with over 8 million followers, you'd expect content that is somewhat entertaining. But it was really nothing more than dry sarcastic humor.
Yes, I did name my daughter Richard. I just always really loved the name Richard, and I wanted a boy, but I had a girl, and I decided to name her Richard anyways, and she loves it, so I don't really know why people have a problem with it, but you can take that up with her.
Well, posting content around being a mother ended up working wonders for Bobbi, as within only a matter of months, she switched her entire branding to be under a podcast. The Really Good podcast was officially launched on the 2nd of June 2023, and right from the get-go, things were off to a promising start. While most podcasts are talkative and flow nicely with every conversation, Bobbi's was the exact opposite. The conversations were completely dry and just straight awkward.
Alright, I think that probably concludes this. Thank you for coming. Do you want me to come on your podcast next?
No.
Why not?
I didn't have a good time with you.
Okay, that's fine.
By episode 2, she was already co-hosting with Funny Marco under the exact same conditions as last time.
Would you say that you're easy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, like easy to get along with?
I mean, however you want to take it. You said yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy.
That's good. Me too. I feel like I need to start having standards for myself.
You don't have standards?
I dated a girl in a wheelchair.
Okay, there's
No, but I'm telling you, she walked down my life still.
Sorry to hear that.
This singular episode went on to gain over 5.5 million views and pulled in 140,000 likes at the same time. Comments flooded in with how refreshing it was to see something different in the podcast scene. It's rare that 2 people I've never heard of make me laugh for an hour straight. This was special. This interview is like dialing 2 cell phones, putting them on speakerphone, and having 2 random people talk to each other. This feels like a competition to make each other break character, and it never happens. However, towards the ending of the episode, Bobbi briefly brought up this.
I don't believe that I'm not your type.
But nobody really paid any attention to it, as everyone simply thought it was a joke. It wouldn't be until her next episode with Drake where she asked the same thing.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
Except this time, it didn't go unnoticed. You see, the original podcast with Drake amassed over 20 million views, and Bobbi was happily married to her husband Corey with 2 kids as well. Things started to take a turn for the worst later on in the Drake interview when Bobbi said she missed her daughter's first birthday just to be with him.
You know?
I flew all the way here
You did. I really do appreciate
on my
that.
daughter's first birthday.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
hmm
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
To be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Where's your son?
Somewhere safe, and it's not his birthday.
When's his birthday?
What does it matter? It ain't today.
Clearly her husband wasn't too happy with everything Bobbi was doing online, as within the same month as the Drake interview, Corey filed for divorce, proving that Bobbi clearly had her priorities set and that her family wasn't near the top of that list. The news began spreading like wildfire, and it was covered pretty much everywhere online. Some creators dug further to prove that her husband wasn't just divorcing to take money from her because of how successful she was.
And before people say, oh, he's probably divorcing her so he can get a piece of the money that she made from her very successful podcast, Corey's actually a senior vice president of a very successful company, and so they're both really successful people. And alongside with that, when he filed for divorce, he checked a box saying that he doesn't want alimony, meaning that neither of them have to pay one another after the divorce.
Where all the comments started to turn against her as well. A wife who meets, hangs, flirts, and chills with celebrity guys on a daily basis. Who would want that? I feel like when she didn't have money, she was all about her marriage and family. But now that she doesn't need his money, she seems to have different priorities. This comment right here summed it up perfectly, as now it started circulating that she was lying about her financial status this entire time.
I don't have any money
None?
at all. I have debt, actually.
You have debt? How much debt do you have?
Right now, I have like $20,000 of debt.
She, at times, would ask her co-host for amounts up to $20,000.
I just think that you should give me $20,000.
I mean, I could,
I know you could.
but it was just at a bad example.
What, because other people would ask you for $20,000?
Yeah, every podcaster on the planet.
Okay, let's just say right now, on the record, no, he's not going to be giving me any money. Okay? And then off the record, can you give me $20,000?
Like under the table, like,
Yeah.
you really think I'm an under the table guy?
Yeah.
I'm not.
But please.
No.
10,000.
No.
But older clips surfaced that she used to be making multiple hundreds of thousands every single year.
I was making around like $250 to $300 a year.
Thousand
Yeah.
from brand deals.
From brand deals on TikTok.
Wow.
And 250 is great and all, but it's hard to come up with content with just me every day.
$250,000 a
Yeah.
year as an annual income is great.
As a result of this, the views started declining with every new episode that she would release, up to the point where she had to call it quits on the show entirely.
This is the last episode of the Really Good Podcast, and it has been a dream. I will miss doing this podcast, and I will miss the money this podcast brought me.
You know you've screwed up big time when your videos now receive 4 times the amount of dislikes compared to likes. However, there was only a total of 22 days of silence on Bobbi's behalf, as she teased on her Instagram a video of her walking with Drake on what looks to be a rerun of another podcast. Well, this was in fact the case, as the following day she posted new pictures of the Not This Again podcast, even showing that her first podcast was utter garbage. Roughly 2 weeks later, the first episode released, and to say it was a disaster is a huge understatement. It was supposed to be a fresh start. Instead, it felt like a painfully obvious attempt to recreate the one moment that ever worked for her in the first place: Drake. Before even watching the first episode, keep in mind what Bobbi wrote in the description. The show is back, sharper than ever, with a new episode every month. It's a more elevated version of my last show. Higher stakes and fewer chances of anyone making me delete it. Not only is this just not true at all, she even openly left the M- within the sentence, giving off speculation that AI probably wrote this itself, with Bobbi just pasting it into the description with no effort whatsoever. From the opening minutes, the episode has no direction. There's no structure, no real topic, and no sense that Bobbi actually has anything new to say. Most of the runtime is again just awkward banter and forced chemistry that only exist because Drake is sitting next to her. The conversation jumps from clubs, to shoes, to bedsheets, to biting nails, to random travel complaints, all while Bobbi repeatedly tries to brand the show as much more refined. And almost immediately, the desperation shows. She openly jokes about needing to act more pleasant just to land brand deals.
Is that what I need to get more brand deals, be more pleasant?
Hey now.
She frames the entire setup like a flex, turning the location and Drake's money into part of the spectacle, as if the environment itself is supposed to replace actual substance. At one point, she even calls it the first episode no one asked for.
Welcome to the first episode that no one asked for.
Which ends up feeling less like self-awareness and more like an accidental admission. The rest of this podcast leans heavily on revisiting her past fallout with Drake. Bobbi spends a huge chunk of time reframing the original interview, her divorce, and her career collapse as something misunderstood rather than mismanaged.
I love my kids, but that doesn't mean I had to. People had never heard of divorce before me, apparently, because they really hold me to a higher standard than anyone else in this world.
She paints herself as a victim of public perception, claiming that losing Drake's cosign is what caused other opportunities to disappear, subtly shifting responsibility away from herself and onto the situation. Meanwhile, Drake does most of the talking. He dominates the conversation, explains her own life events back to her, reframes her career for her, and repeatedly saves the entire podcast when the conversation stalls. By the end, practically nothing has been said. It's just two people laying around in a luxury hotel bed, name-dropping, joking about travel, and industry drama. It didn't help that speculation started about the two getting into a relationship, as they had begun spending weeks alone together, even posting questionable photos on her Instagram that regular friends would never take. Nonetheless, the rumors were denied. But it still wasn't a good look when the top comment of the video stated, "I feel like a third wheel watching this." The following 3 episodes all received less and less views every time. Her most recent episode with Trevor Wallace was posted over 2 months ago, and it's practically the exact same story all over again. Instead of a bed in a luxury hotel, it's a rock climbing wall. But the effect is the same. The setting becomes the content. Most of the episode isn't about Trevor, his career, or anything interesting. It's about how uncomfortable he is.
I can't stop laughing at how uncomfortable you are.
I just have no hips, so it's just going straight into the scoliosis.
Where his legs are.
I think my legs went purple.
They're not.
How he's sitting.
Okay, I'm good. How are you that comfortable?
Whether he's sweating.
Why are you sweating?
What?
Whether something should be blurred.
Yeah, hey. Okay, oh, sorry, blur that.
And it's just like, who would even want to watch this? The top 3 comments are all on Trevor's side, even going as far to call the new podcast a dumpster fire. And honestly, that looks like exactly where it's headed. Her channel is barely gaining any subscribers these days. She didn't even post her recent one with Teddy Swims on YouTube, as she would be afraid of how poorly it would have performed. And apparently, now she's attempting stand-up comedy, as seen on her Instagram, and while she is still getting support from other celebrities, the vast majority can come to an agreement in just 3 words. It will suck.